So there has been an official trade in the NBA, and it's pretty crazy. It's not something I actually expected would happen. There were a lot of rumors and speculation going around a few weeks ago about the Washington Wizards and the Houston Rockets and making a trade and a swap basically for Russell Westbrook and John Wall, and it has officially happened. We're also going to talk about LiAngelo Ball, so get ready for that. Before we get started with the video, I'd really appreciate if you guys could help me out by hitting that like button. Let's aim for 500 likes. Subscribe if you're new, and let's get on with the video. The Houston Rockets are getting John Wall, the injury-riddled point guard that has been out of the league for 2 years. He's similar to Russell Westbrook in the sense that they're both freakishly athletic. Russell Westbrook is now a member of the Washington Wizards, and personally, I can't see him playing with Bradley Beal in Washington. I think there's going to be another trade that's going to happen, and both Westbrook and Beal might find themselves on different teams. In saying that, when looking at the Houston Rockets lineup for 2021, the only word you can really say is weird. It could work out. More than likely it won't work out, but it could work out. I mean, John Wall was a really solid all-star player for the years that he was healthy. DeMarcus Cousins was the best big man in the league, and those two guys haven't shown anything for a few years, but if one of them or both of them can show what they can do and they can come back and be okay and just be on the brink of being an all-star or even be an all-star, James Harden has help. It's a different team to the way the Houston Rockets ran last season, and that was a big question on how if they would mesh, Westbrook and Harden, and now it's another question this year if they're going to mesh. I personally don't see them meshing the way that I think the Houston Rockets are expecting, and I think Harden will probably find himself off the Houston Rockets in the next 2 years or even next year if the Houston Rockets are not able to make the playoffs this year or even compete. So that's going to be an interesting storyline in itself, but I'm excited to see John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, two former college teammates, play together. They've already got chemistry, and it's just going to be interesting to see if they can become good players again. John Wall, James Harden, Daniel House, Christian Wood, and DeMarcus Cousins. Look, it's a strange lineup. Completely different. DeMarcus Cousins, he's injury riddled. John Wall, he's injury riddled. Christian Wood's a solid player. And James Harden is one of the MVP candidates for the last 5 years. James Harden is an absolute monster, and the team is really built around him, obviously. But this is really the final straw for the Houston Rockets. They probably need this team to do well in order to keep James Harden next year and in future years. Before I give you my thoughts, I want to ask you, how do you think that John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins will play next year after being injured for so long? Look, those two players are guys that were once teammates in college and now they're going to be teammates again. They obviously have that connection, they've got chemistry, and Christian Wood showed a lot of potential last year. Do I see this Houston Rockets team making the NBA Finals? No. But do I see them making the playoffs? Yes. And I truly believe if you make the playoffs, you always have a chance. I mean, just look at the Miami Heat this year. This team has the biggest question mark going into next season. I'm not entirely sure on why the Wizards made this trade, nor am I really sure why the Houston Rockets made this trade either. I think right now it's pretty obvious that Russell Westbrook is a better player than John Wall, just because John Wall hasn't actually played for the last 2 seasons. But the thing is, John Wall, when he was in the NBA, was a really good player, and if he can get to that level, he can still be one of the best point guards in the league in my opinion. He's had the last 2 years to work on his outside shooting, become healthy, and look, if he's a better shooter than Russell Westbrook from the outside, I'm not saying he will be. In the past, he's been pretty even to Westbrook. Neither of them have been great outside shooters, but if he has taken these last 2 years to become a decent outside shooter that can play alongside James Harden, Daniel House, Christian Wood, DeMarcus Cousins, it could be interesting. Even if DeMarcus Cousins isn't an all-star, but he gives you 15 and 10, 18 and 10. That is still decent numbers that he actually provided for the Golden State Warriors in a few games when he played with them. It's not out of the realm of possibility to suggest that you can get 18 to 20 points out of DeMarcus Cousins, 18 and 10 out of John Wall, 30 points out of James Harden, and then you still got guys off the bench, Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, and you got Daniel House, Christian Wood. Like, it's a solid rotation. It's just very, very strange. And the Washington Wizards also lost a first round pick that is now going to the Houston Rockets. It's only a 2023 protected first round pick, so it's not a huge first round pick, but if you're the Houston Rockets, you'll definitely take that. I will say that this Houston Rockets team is really interesting, but I don't think they're going to win an NBA championship next year. This team maybe in 2015 when John Wall was healthy and DeMarcus Cousins was the best center in the league. But it really has been a while since 2015, and a lot has changed, both in the NBA landscape and also in our world. Anyway, let's talk about LiAngelo Ball now, because he's a member of an NBA team. He got signed to the Detroit Pistons. It's a non-guaranteed contract. We don't actually know if he'll play in the NBA, but just to think that LeVar Ball has 3 sons in the NBA currently is really impressive. I mean, look, you can say what you want about the man, but to have 3 sons in the NBA, one of the toughest competitions in any sport in the entire world, to have 3 of them in the NBA is really impressive. Not that he's actually done the work, but he's got them there. Lonzo Ball is obviously a member of the New Orleans Pelicans. We've seen LaMelo Ball just get drafted to the Charlotte Hornets. And now LiAngelo is signing a 1-year non-guaranteed contract with the Detroit Pistons. Obviously, it's non-guaranteed, which means he may actually never play for this team, but the Pistons are in such a dire situation at the moment that they need any ticket sales they can get. Having a guy like LiAngelo, you know, will provide ticket sales. The other thing is, will he actually play? Is he good enough? I mean, that's the big question. Is he actually NBA ready? Can he play on an NBA court and play with NBA guys? Well, that's going to be the big question. We're going to find that out, and hopefully we can actually see him play in an NBA game, let alone a few NBA games, just to see if he really can perform like the rest of his brothers and in the NBA system. He's been an odd player throughout his time when he was in high school because he was so big and so strong that no one could really hold him. But obviously once he matured, so did everyone else, and now he's a grown man just like all the other NBA players. And it's not like LiAngelo Ball is big enough to back anyone down. He's a guy that will probably most likely become a spot-up shooter in the NBA. And those guys are useful to have in your team, but they're also guys that are most likely to get cut from an NBA roster as they're pretty one-dimensional. So LiAngelo Ball, I'm excited to see if he'll actually play. I'm keen to see the Ball brothers go at it, and let me know what you think about LiAngelo making an NBA roster. So with that being said, let me know what you thought about the Houston Rockets Washington Wizards trade. John Wall for Russell Westbrook. Will it work? Won't it work? Who won? Who lost? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And let me know what you think about LiAngelo Ball being signed to the Detroit Pistons. Will he get a game? Won't he get a game? And how will he play in the NBA if he does get a game? I think that's basically it. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could leave a like to show your support. Subscribe if you're new for NBA content every single week. And hit that notification button so you never miss an upload. And with that said, I'm out. Have a nice day. Peace.